Hello folks, well, I was thinking about, there's people have said to me, well, what can we do? I was speaking to a bloke the other day, and he says, yeah, we can moan about this, but we can't do anything about it. And admittedly, you can write letters and you can complain, but they still go ahead and they do things anyway. And in a lot of cases, your political representative, or some people call them corporate representatives, they're just, for example, in Europe, the European Union makes some directive, and the politicians in the local parliaments don't have any say. They just have to rubber stamp it. But there are issues where if you write letters, now I think of it more like market research for the elite, you see, your political representative, and they know if they get, I don't know, 100 letters on a particular subject, each of those letters from the person that's actually got off their rear and picked up a pen and written a letter or done it on a computer or whatever, for every one of them people there might be, I don't know, 100,000, 10,000 other people who are thinking the same as that. And that's why these governments have statistics departments and all these sort of clever people, and they can turn around to the government and say, well, you've had how many people complain about that? Well, statistically then, that means that so many percentage of the population are getting a bit uppity about that. And so they know they can work it out whether, well, we better not do it, we can do it but a bit slower, we could do it if we did it slightly differently, or we're going to do it anyway. And so that's one aspect. Another thing that I thought is, when you get disasters, or anything happen much really, a lot of people run to government. Okay, they go, oh government, help, help, help. And you can see my earlier video that I've done on an earth closet, and with the old earth closet, that is something that if there's no power, they can't pump water, the municipal water supplies, and they can't pump sewerage, you see. And you might say, well, that's not going to happen. Well, in America they had ice storms, and for nearly a couple of weeks people was without power. And in the UK we had a little bit of snow and like you get, I tell you, it could be, if Al Qaeda, the list or whatever I call them, if they wanted to stop Britain, watch out, because all they got to do is buy a few snow machines, they could stop us. That's all you need, a few snow machines. So anyway, back off the humour, back into the real world. If we moan about something, say we moan about government, we say government's too big, we want smaller government, then we shouldn't be then, in the next breath, going along and saying, but government, could you help me with this? Or government, could you help me with that? Or government, because then at the end of the spending round, when they come to do their budgets, people would say, oh, you shouldn't spend money on that. And they say, but last year we helped so many thousand people with this, and so many thousand people with that, and we had all this we did here because people demanded it, and all these people wanted us to do this, and blah blah blah. And they've got all these justifications that they can point to say, but we need big government because you're all asking us for all these services, you're using them. So if we don't use all these services, then they say, we want to spend on this. You go, but why? It's a waste of money, nobody wants it. So they can't justify something that if there's no demand for it. It's a bit like your shopkeeper. If a shopkeeper gets somebody coming in and buying lots of a certain item, they keep it in stock. But if you only get one person in a couple of years comes in and asks for one, the shopkeeper will think, well, when I've sold that one, I ain't going to buy some more in because it's a waste of money. I ain't spending out on that. So the less we need something, the less likely it is to be there. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you don't like government, if you want small government, then the best way of doing that is to make sure that you don't need to keep running to government. And not only you, but if you can get all your friends, your family, so that they also don't need to keep running to government. If we all did that in our local communities, eventually government couldn't justify being big government. It would have to be small government because they'd look ridiculous. They just wouldn't be able to justify, say, doing all these things. So the best way, see, because people say we can't do anything to change government because well, you can, you just don't use it. Right? If you don't use it, they've got no reason to come along and say, but you need us, because we can turn around and say, but we don't. Do you see where I'm coming from? I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But that's just my sort of silly idea on that one. But anyway, cheers for now. We'll probably have some black helicopters come and a few people come and say, what you telling them they don't need government for? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. You can't go around saying that. Okay, cheers folks. Bye for now.